Hey, Lance here, the Vintage Speaker Audiophile. I was just listening to. I'm going to throw a shout out to Darko Audio. Uh, it's a pretty good site for those of us that are interested in learning about sound quality and things like that. They had an interesting article on dynamic range as a function of whether a file is in a digital domain or still in the analog domain. And he was describing how dynamic range is something that users or listeners respond to more than pretty much anything else than when it comes to when judging the quality of a recording. Now, whether that's true or not, I can't say, but clearly it makes sense that dynamic range would be an important part of sound quality. Anyway, this I'll provide a link to this video in the description. But what it got me thinking about was there are those of us listeners, or should I say audiophiles, people. What's an audiophile? An audiophile is someone who likes to make their music better. That's it. I mean, that's all an audiophile is. So everybody is an audiophile when you get right down to it. Why do some of us audiophiles get all caught up in technical details like FLAC files versus MP3 files and bit rates and sampling depths and all that sort of stuff? There's people that are into that sort of stuff like I am, and then there's people who are not. There's the group that basically says, "Shut up and just listen, idiot." And I get that. I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, some of us can get caught up in the techno details more so when we could be just enjoying the music. But the thing about us though is what these people don't get is that the technical details and the pursuit of things like what's the difference between a WAV file and an MP3 file, or what does sampling depth mean when you go from 16 bits to 24 bits. For a lot of us, that's the hobby. I mean, the hobby is listening, of course, but the other aspect of the hobby is going into all these, down these technical roads to understand more and more about what's going on behind the scenes, and this is not just for digital folks. I mean, this is for the analog folks too. I mean, there's so many rich aspects of the hobby that come down to trying to understand, manipulate, have fun with the various technical aspects of it. I mean, I recently got a new DAC, and I noticed quite a bit of difference. And the sound just was clearer, and I it was brighter. It was just more there. It was more realistic, basically, is what it was than when compared to my older DAC. So I did get a sound benefit out of it, but the fun I had researching DACs and how they fit into the hobby, how the different ways of connectivity. That's a big part of the hobby. I was looking for a DAC that would take HDMI input, for example, and there's just darn few DACs out there that take HDMI input. Only the more expensive ones. And I was looking for a more reasonable price DAC. Well, it turns out I had to solve that problem by getting an HDMI to optical out converter. which I did. So now in my installation, I'm using an Amazon Fire Cube. The Fire Cube outputs HDMI only, and this little device I got catches the HDMI and converts it to optical while passing the HDMI video on. So I get to run optical into the DAC, and that's how I get it worked into the system. And there was all the research and understanding of all the various pieces and parts that made it so much fun. That's the point I'm trying to make here. Not just that we who love the technical side and the details and the pursuit of better, and the stuff that a lot of listeners don't care about. We care about it because that's a big part of the hobby. That's I mean, to me, I'm a heating and cooling engineering nerd. I had all sorts of fun this winter comparing my electric heat bills to my gas heat bills and things like that. And it had nothing to do with getting the house heated. It was just fun doing that sort of stuff. So that's the way it is too with audio. So for those of you that laugh at us and wonder why we don't just enjoy the music, the answer is we do. We do, but we enjoy the hunt as much as the prize. Hope that clears a couple things up. Lance, the vintage speaker audiophile. Thanks for making it this far.